the US and China, the world's biggest emitters, will both ratify the Paris Climate Change Agreement. Is this a huge deal, Julianne Genter, for the world?
Yeah, it's the first time all the countries in the world have agreed to limit dangerous climate change to 2 degrees or preferably 1.5 degrees over pre-industrial levels. The problem we have in New Zealand is that the national government isn't doing anything that would enable us to reduce our pollution and meet our agreement.
But why is these are massive emitters. That's why it's a big deal. We're a tiny emitter.
It
We're a
doesn't,
tiny
per
emitter.
capita, we're the 5th worst in the world. So on a per person basis, we're not doing better than most countries. And since National's been in power,
so what's
our
that because
emissions
of?
have increased 19%. 19%.
What's that because
since 2008.
of? The emissions come from where in New Zealand?
Agriculture, transport, electricity generation, land use.
Agriculture. This is your territory in the Waiata Upper.
Agriculture and deforestation.
Deforestation. So what do you say to Julianne?
Look, we are going to be ratifying the Paris Agreement, and we're going to. Our target is 30% reduction on the 205 levels by 2030. So that's a huge commitment.
No policy
and
that's actually going to deliver
no, that's
that.
not true. We
is
are
true.
paying the users of energy have doubled that through the ETS. They're now paying their fair share.
But if you
their
don't
cost
have,
has doubled.
agriculture's excluded from
well,
that,
agriculture.
and that's 30%
Look,
of
So let's talk about that.
If they want to put the country broke and kill off all the cows
That's
to get it
ridiculous.
to remove our emissions,
analogy.
The bottom line is that we've got China and the United States leading the way, which is extraordinary and historic. 40% of the climate gases.
So it's huge. It is huge.
It's huge. But where are we? I mean, yes, we're a small country, but at the same time, we should be out there and in front of it as well. We will ratify before the end of the year,
That's right.
But there is no real strategy to get to where we need to go.
Right,
there is nothing out there that the government has put out will give us any confidence that we're going to hit those targets yet.
Well, Alistair, you know what? I mean, we've got one of the weakest targets in the OECD, 11% reductions on 1990 levels. The big elephant in the room for you guys, I suppose, is when is agriculture going to be included? That's the big issue.
Well,
nothing can move.
It's all to do with our competitors. So if we put agriculture in, how are we going to compete with the Australian dairy farmers, for example? Who cares about the dairy industry? Well, you should, because it's a big contributor to this economy.
On value,
all right.
not volume.
All right, Julianne,
High-value
answer that.
products.
He makes a good point. He makes quite a good point. How are you going to compete if agriculture included? That is who we are.
We cannot prosper in the future if our industries rely on increasing carbon emissions or greenhouse gas emissions. That's the reality. We have to adjust to the new reality. Our industries have to adjust to the new reality. And government should be leading the way.
What would you do? Halve the number of cows?
Just if you include agriculture in the system, then there is at least the price signal for people to compete on value. We'd like to go up the value chain with agriculture, with dairy, not just be...
Do you agree with that,
Absolutely.
David?
Look, right at the moment, there is no incentive to change. 50% of our carbon emissions come from our agriculture, but there is absolutely no price incentive for farmers to change the way that they're doing things.
And
it needs to happen. Everywhere else, all the other industries do, but not farming.
Are you hearing this, Alistair? I mean,
Well, these guys want the country to go broke.
Rubbish.
There will be technological changes.
He's voted in by the farmers, you see.
Primary Growth Partnerships is doing research on how to reduce the methane emissions from these animals.
Why are you
over
doing...
time, things will hit the targets
Transport
of
is
2005.
40%.
All right, Julianne,
Transport
finally.
is 40% of our carbon emissions, and the government could provide fast, clean transport options that people really want. We're running a campaign on North Shore Rail. It's incredibly popular. A ton of national voters told us at the markets this weekend they want rail to the North Shore, electrified rail. Why is this government putting so much money into
There are
motorways
more and more
instead of public
people
transport,
on
which is going to
public
enable more
transport
people?
than ever before.
Yeah, but
Hang
they
on.
don't have the option.
I want to go to Hayley. On this.
Yes, because I'm with Kevin Haig. You're in your last sitting period as a Green MP, off to be the CEO of Forest and Bird. Why have you decided to leave us?
Mainly that Forest and Bird is like a dream job. I have been a passionate conservationist my entire life. Forest and Bird is the preeminent conservation organisation, and this country and this country's nature needs Forest and Bird more now than ever before for habitat loss, invasive predators, and climate change, actually. Like our nature, our plants and our animals are under severe threat. So Forest and Bird really has to actually show leadership for the entire sector, and I reckon they can help with that.
What would you like to see from our government in terms of leadership on climate change?
Oh, well, some sense of urgency. I mean, I think actually what Julianne and David were both saying is actually correct, that the government is kind of managing climate change as if it were a short-run political issue rather than actually trying to do anything substantive about the problem. You know, that government has been extremely late in acting. What it's been doing has been gestures rather than real action. And actually, the world actually needs more. You know, the government is fiddling while the world burns.
Well, Paula Bennett has called the target ambitious that she's set.
Oh, for goodness sake. This would have been an ambitious target in, I don't know, 1985. You know, like, that's how far behind we are.
That was before 1990, which is what they like to set them.
I know. So even though the government doesn't have a plan to actually meet this target, even the target itself is inadequate. You know, that is a measure of just how behind the government has allowed us to become. And actually, unless we can actually get that urgency, that kind of almost war footing to our response to climate change, it will beat us.
Okay, put that to the MPs, Wallace.
Hey, round of applause for Kevin Haig too. It's been really great. It's really been great having you on the show after all these years. I mean, you've come on dozens of times, so put it there, Kevin. All the best for your new career, mate. And joining the line of MPs who are not with us anymore, like I can remember David Garrett, for example.
That's not
well,
fair.
no, that's not fair, you know. And others.
Seriously, I just want to say it'd be Parliament will be the worst without Kevin. He has been terrific. And we disagree on a lot of things, but seriously, he's been one person I've respected for his principles, the standards, and the things that he's got him behind and supported. So good on you, Kevin, and good luck. Yeah.
On that, last word to you, Alistair. Do you want to respond a little bit to what Kevin Haig said there about climate change?
Look, we've committed to this accord. We've got the targets. Technology is going to be part of the solution, and it's going to take time because we do not want the primary sector to go bust. If we had these guys in charge, that's what would happen.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Say that.
All right.
Rubbish.
Okay. Very good. Your thoughts on that at Backbenchers TV. We're back very, very soon.